Hi, I'm Erin Scott. I'm a school counselor, and I am going to show you some of the ways that I've been successful with sharing my virtual school counseling office. So, ways that I've gotten it out there to students and to parents. So, I'm going to show you the settings of sharing and also different locations where you can share it. So, we'll start here with our slide, and I'm going to use the kind of test office that I've been working on in my other videos. So, up here, the first thing you want to do, obviously, is to name your office. That way it's easier to find. So I'll do Mrs. Scott's virtual office. I'm going to call this one test so I don't get it confused with my other one. And we're going to go up to our sharing settings up here. So when you click on that, if you didn't have a name for it, it would ask you to name it first. But here are our options. So if I wanted to share it with specific people, I can just put their email addresses directly in here. And this links to our directory for Carroll County Public Schools. So if you see, if I start typing in my last name, it comes up with myself. So I could just share it directly with anybody that's in Carroll County Public Schools. But what I really want to do is I want to use my link. So when I have this section down here that says get link, right now it says restricted, only people added can open with this link. So that means only my people up here would be able to see it, but I want to change that. So what I'm doing is clicking on change link. So we have some options now. We have restricted, which means nobody can see it except for the people that you invite. The other one is Carroll County Public Schools people can access it. But still only people with the link. But you could share a link from one person to another, but as long as that person logged in under the CCPS, they could access. Or you can do anyone with the link. So if you wanted to send it out to parents, then you could send it out to parents to any email address and they would be able to access it. So I'm going to put it with anyone with the link can access it. And then I am going to click copy the link. Now, if I wanted to send this in an email, I could just copy and paste that into a bed of an email and I could send it out to whomever. So maybe you have parents that you work with often and you want to send it out directly to them. Maybe you have the student list of your caseload and you want to send out the link directly to them. You can do that. But the thing is, whenever anybody pulls up your document for your office, they're going to see it like this. And that's not the best way to see it because they can click things. They can't edit anything because when we were under our sharing, you noticed that here it says viewer versus commenter versus editor. Automatically it defaults to viewer, and I would suggest keeping it that way. That way you are the only one who can actually edit your document because you don't want anybody messing around in your office. So whenever they come here, I always put in my notes down here, that way they see it, and I always put it in any directions or anything I attach to this. Click present at the top for best viewing. So when they click present at the top, it makes all of the links more integrated. So that way they don't come up with these silly boxes. You want them to, when they click on that it'll take them to that website. So that's why I always suggest putting some kind of direction about how do they click present. So that's one way of just emailing out your Google Classroom. But you can add it to a variety of other places. And the one I'm going to show you is Google Classroom. So if you are someone who has your own classroom, like maybe you have a school counseling classroom, or maybe you are added as a teacher to any of the other teachers' websites, then you can add your Google Slide, your virtual office directly into there. So I have this test classroom that I've set up, and you can add your virtual office document by putting it in the classwork section. So let's create a material. If you aren't familiar with Google Classroom, you can also create your own test classroom just like I did and kind of figure out what assignments look like and how everything works. And that's a good way to get more comfortable with it. But right now I want to put Mrs. Scott's virtual office. And then again, like I said, I always want to put click present for the best viewing. That way they know their directions are to do that. And then I'm going to move myself out of the way because what I want to select is my add button. And it's already, I could add the link like we had, but since it's in my Google Drive, I just want to click on Google Drive. And if you were just working on it, it'll pop up under your recent mode. So you can see, there it is. I'm going to click it and look, it added it right there. Now your options over there, if you're adding it as a material, you will have these 3 options. Now the cool thing is, if you are a teacher in multiple classrooms, let's say I am in Mrs. Smith's room, Mrs. Johnson's room, and they are the classroom teachers, and they have added me as somebody who can work as a teacher in their room. I can go to all the classrooms I'm a teacher of and select them and put this virtual office into all of the classrooms at once. But what you want to make sure that you do is you add it under your own topic. So that way you're not messing up their social studies unit section. You have your own area that you're putting it under. So for me, I can put Mrs. Scott's counseling corner. Maybe the counseling center if you're working with a couple counselors at the middle school or high school level. Whatever it is, you will create your own topic. And that'll kind of combine everything into one area of the Google Classroom. So I'll post this and then I'll go back and show you what I mean by that. So all topics, and you can see I have my own section now. So for example, maybe a teacher has, like I said before, like social studies as one of their sections. You don't want your counseling office to accidentally be in their social studies section. So make sure that you have your own section of the classroom under classwork where you can post a lot of your materials. Approve that with your teachers first, but I think that they would love to have a little section full of resources there. So if you click on that material, it'll pop it up, and look, I can click and it'll take me to the office. And like I said, it's going to take you to this mode. So I want to click present, and I am going to see the lovely office that we have created. So that is one way of sharing it with multiple students at once. So putting it in a Google Classroom, either your own school counseling classroom or into other teachers' classrooms. I also told you about the option of emailing it directly to anybody. So the third option I'm going to show you is if you have a Google site. So some people might have Google sites, some people don't. It's okay. I have kind of created my own recently and have embedded my office inside my Google site. It's a really cool tool, Google Sites, where you can create your own class website. So check it out if you haven't had a chance. But real quickly, I'm just going to show you how to embed it in case you're curious about that. So here is my website that I've been working on. And on my page for student resources, on that home page for students, I have put my Google site. So if kids are on this, and I'll put it in preview mode so you can see, if a student were on my website, they would come and they would see this office. And if they clicked on things, just like how it worked before, it can take you directly to those links. So in order to do this, let me exit my preview mode. In order to embed this, what you want to do is on Google site, let's say I want to put this test office below this one. I'm going to create a section and see how it has all of these layout options. One of them down here is Google Slides, and that's where we created our office. So if I click there, it's going to show some of the recent Google Slides that I've been working on. So let's go to my test office. I'm going to insert it right here, and I can make it go all the way across. I can bring it all the way down. I can make it look like the full screen of my office. And this is automatically then embedded into your website. So if I then go to the preview, I see the office I had in there before. And then look, this is my test office that I've been working on. And all of my links still work too. So embedding your office into Google Sites is another really cool way to get your virtual office out there and have kids be able to access you and your resources and the appointment form. So again, these are all a variety of ways for you to share your Google site with your students and teachers and your parents. And if you have any questions, again, about this at all, feel free to email me, emscott@carrollk12.org, with any additional questions that you have about creating your virtual office, creating your appointment forms, or sharing all of this with your students and community members. Thank you.